loved Dr. Carmona's vision of what monitoring and censoring will look like in the future. But what we're going to talk about today is what's available now, what is coming in the near future, and more importantly, what's applicable for, what technologies are applicable for you in the spa industry. I'd like you to think about me as the health component in health technology. I'm trying to be for you the bridge between what is possible in technology and what works for your spa. So, I have had about 30 years in the wellness industry, 10 in the spa specifically, and playing in different roles, including marketing, sales, and spa directors. So I'm very familiar with the animal, and hope that what I have to offer you here today are some very good matches for what could be possible for, for your facilities. The games, I'm going to start with games because that seems to be what is in the popular press. And I'm sure you have all heard of the game Super Better, yes or no? Anyone know Jane McGonigal? No? Oh, really? Okay. So Jane McGonigal is actually a renowned gamer. She's given many TED Talks. She's typically at all the health technology conferences, and she's considered the queen of gaming. She came from the world of Warcraft and all those things that perhaps you've seen your children playing. Jane claims that in her TED Talk that we can use the power of games to solve real-life problems. And I don't know how many of you maybe, I think it's been about 7 months now, heard of the gamers that were engaged to find the solution to the protein that was actually one of the causes of AIDS. And in just 3 weeks, gamers found the solution to what medical doctors had been looking at for years. So Jane's claim to using this social tool to solve world problems is in fact being used. So just some facts. 1 billion people a day spent at least an hour playing games. 44% of the US population are gamers. 42% of gamers are women, average age about 42 years old. 29% of gamers are over 50, who would have thought? 10,000 hours is the amount of time that a 21-year-old has spent playing games. And that, by the way, is about the same amount of time that they spent in middle school and high school, if you can imagine that. 5.5 billion, size of the game market by 2015. So this is a view of Jane's gaming page, just so you can get some idea of what a game of this type might look like. She's the CEO of Super Better, and she describes her product as a recovery adventure game. So you can see by looking at this that it's very similar in look to some of the games that maybe you have seen your children play. Or if you're a 42-year-old woman, perhaps something you've been playing. Right? And so in these types of games, like Super Better, you can see that there's activities, there's quests, you recruit allies, there's power-ups, and I have this highlighted because this is a space where the spa industry can jump in. Games companies like this are looking for incentives, and they're happy to use incentives that are healthy incentives. So you would be a power-up in a game like this. And of course, there's the bad guys, the future boosts. This is another page in the Super Better game, and you can see that Jane includes the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the social. And by the way, all of her research to develop this game for herself initially, because she had a brain injury, was completely based on science. So it's not something to be taken lightly. $11,176 is the average amount that is spent on an employer that has poor health. So Keys, a game that is and has been developed by Bosworth, who left Google Health and went to a private company to develop games specifically for employers. This is their game. Again, this is a place that you might want to align something like this with if you're trying to get into corporate wellness. And they basically believe that the entry point is through human resources. We know that the cost to employers is $2 trillion a year, and they know, as we know in this room, that the way to solve these problems is through preventative health. So this is a page on the Kia's site. As you can see, it's the same principles. They employ team members. Their challenge here, Dancing for Dollars, is based on points, placing people, and their goal is to engage, and their philosophy is to engage 2 to 5 members on their team to use the team to advance to the next level, and then teams play against teams. So this is not necessarily the best application for the spa industry, but again, if you're looking to get into corporate wellness, this is a model that they're using in corporate. Here's another view of their page. All of these gaming companies are engaging the news feed style, which we're familiar with if we use a Facebook page. So all of this person's friends are displayed here. And so those are just 2 examples of games that are played on a laptop. But as we know, gaming is going mobile. So believe it or not, there's 44 million downloads going to be made this year. And those are going to all be health technology apps. Not all applicable to the spa industry, obviously. So I'm going to show you a couple of views of perhaps apps that would be good matches for you. So here's an app that can be white labeled. So this is something that you could easily use in your spa. And you can see that in an app like this, it's very simple to use, user-friendly. It collects data like your name, age, how tall you are, how much you weigh. This is another view of that same company. This particular company is a company that deals more with disease risk. So again, I don't know if this would be the best match for you. If you're a medical spa, this could be a good device for you. This can be personalized again to your spa. And again, this collects data about you personally and then asks you about some of your health risks. So this is a typical and popular app. This is a mobile food log that basically is to collect data about how you eat, a nutritional app. How many people are using one of these? You people really are not into technology. Well, okay, let me give you a little hint. Okay, many of the people that come to your spa are using a nutritional tracking app for sure, okay? And there's so many of them out there. Some of them use a technique that's called just tracking what you decide to eat during the day. So you as a user can input breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can input your snacks. It's going to give you a caloric total for breakfast, lunch, and dinner based on, and a burn-off, by the way, based on your activity and your age, gender, your weight, your height, whatever data you've given it. The second model for a, going backwards. The second model for a nutritional tracker is one that actually prescribes diet programs. So if you're a facility that actually has a nutritionist and you prescribe to people through coaching, a meal plan, then the second type of device you can get, a second type of app you can get on your device is a device that will actually prescribe breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you don't have options as to what you eat. And of course, they're trying to put you in a calorie box so that you lose weight. Sorry. Activity logs, again, most of the people that come to your spas are probably using these. And you can use a very basic activity log where you manually enter what you do today. So if you went for a run, you can put in the time that it took, the distance that you went, and it will calculate. If you don't want to use manual entry, there are so many devices out there that will just automatically track that activity for you. And this is an example of one of those apps. So right now I have on a belt, and if I took my iPhone with me and downloaded this app, what it would do is the moment I walked out the door and pressed start, the little GPS would find that I'm in Aspen, and it would follow me around 7th Street and down Main and back here. And because it knows me, because it has my data, it would calculate how fast I went, the distance I went, actually the altitudes of the place I went, and it would know exactly how many calories I burned because it's monitoring my heart rate as well. So For your application, I would suggest a more sophisticated app. And again, these can be all white labeled so that they're your apps. Health monitoring devices. I know there was a gentleman in Bali last year that covered some of these devices, and some of those devices a year later are still here. Some of them are gone. They change daily. This is something I believe in our industry we really need to follow. People are purchasing these, so there's no reason they shouldn't be purchasing them from you at your spa on your recommendation. And again, this is another place where coaches can intersect. This is the Zio Sleep Monitor. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. This is the one that's in the popular press. This records not only the amount of time you sleep, but the quality you sleep. It also has a new feature which records your sleep age. Anybody know what that is? No, I don't either. So I haven't actually analyzed this data yet. I will get back to you. But the premise of the sleep age is, they're going to record your quality of sleep, the amount you sleep, and then they're going to compare you to other people in your age group because you have to input all your data once again. Okay, so if you're interested in your sleep age. Withings scale, I'm sure maybe some of you already sell these. This is a very popular item. All right, this is going to record your weight and your body fat. The beauty in this piece of equipment, and it was the first to do this, is that you step on the scale, it Wi-Fi's your information up to the cloud, and lands down on a page on your laptop that tells you all about your weight and what you should do about it. Okay, so both of these devices, actually, the Zio and the weight scale, both go to the cloud, and you actually have two options here. You can actually, as a user, go to each one of these pages for each one of these devices and singularly look at the data and how it compares to other people and what you can do about it. Or what I highly recommend is that you take the data from these devices and you upload them and have them come down and land on a page, preferably your page with your name on it, that collects all the data from all these devices. So you're collecting data for weight, blood pressure, blood glucose monitors are coming, and so all of that data can land on a page that's white labeled by you, so that that data appears in a display, so it's in front of your client, constant reminder that they're working with you or your coach or your ongoing program. This is a blood pressure cuff. Again, this can be a standalone item sale. Doesn't take a lot of brain power to figure out what this is. This is going to be a sale to a person that's interested in knowing what their blood pressure is. And this can, again, go up to the cloud and down into that platform and be part of a total health score, or it can be a standalone. Does anyone have any questions about that? I saw someone's hand go up back there, but I can't quite see. No? Okay, so these are all products that are sophisticated products. Our clients are educated, sophisticated, economically advanced people, and they're very smart and they're very interested in collecting data. They're data collectors. Thank you. This I put in the category of Christmas gift item. Okay, this is something that mothers might want to buy to humor the child's grandparent. So you can just about monitor anything these days. Put the baby on the scale, Wi-Fi the information, and there it is to grandma and grandpa. So fitness monitoring devices have been around a long time. Fitness monitoring is not a new thing. Coaches and the people that they're training have been using this type of data forever and ever to get better results. It's just now we can do this through devices that are getting tinier and less expensive and more accurate and provide more data. So this is another item that I highly recommend carrying at the spa. I've had huge success with some of the spas that I'm working with in providing different levels, different price points in these monitoring devices. And this is a way that your fitness coach or your life coach can actually empower people to really start tracking and have a better result through health monitoring. So when we recommend these devices, when we look for these devices, it's highly advisable that you find something that interacts with an iPhone, because that's where the apps are, that it goes up to the cloud, because that's where people are how people are storing their data. These types of devices are devices being used by governments, by corporate, by consumer, and this is a way to tie all those programs together. A couple other key things when you're looking for devices: you want to use something that is going to capture and hold data, because people do want to analyze and compare. Heart rate is key. Low power consumption. Some of the devices coming out now are actually using a lower power consumption. One of the main reasons people stop using their devices is the battery runs out, they forget to recharge it, it goes in their drawer, and they stop using it. Ease of use or free living devices is really what we want to push our clients towards. We want to make it very comfortable and easy for them to capture their data, to look at their data, to make it useful to their health goals. This is something that's coming in the future. I brought with me, and you can come if you're interested and look, I brought a box of gadgets that do monitor fitness. So we don't have time to do that up here because we're condensing, Meg and I. So, but I brought a couple things if you're interested in looking at some practical solutions for your property. This is coming soon, and I'm showing you this because this is kind of everything in one place. So we call this the free living band, and this band can be worn as a watch, as you can see, or the device that records the information can actually be detached, so it's very much like the Fitbit and can be stuck in your pocket if you don't want to wear the band. The difference between this technology, which is not even out yet, and that which is out now is, as you can see, the face of the watch is actually a digital display. That information, you will use your iPhone, and you will just take a picture of it, and it will have a barcode app in it, and all that information from that watch will go directly into your platform. So this is a fun little device. It's probably going to be available in about a month. It will also record sleep at some point, by the way. So you'll have everything either on your wrist or in one little Fitbit-like gadget to follow you around. In terms of buying gadgets and price points for your spa, there's many ways you can go. There's all the brand names that we're familiar with, the Nike, the Philips, all of those options. Or you can go up in the circled area and you can actually private label these gadgets yourself, which, believe it or not, you don't need to buy 1,000. Okay, because all you're really paying for is the box, and they just morph the products to look like your brand. So you can buy any of those devices. You can buy the free living, you can buy the barcode, you can buy Bluetooth devices that work with your iPhone. All of those things can be customized to your program, your spa, interact with your platform. So our goal in thinking about how these applications can be practical to our spa programs is that we use the workouts that we train our people to do. We put them into the smartphone, they go up to secure data, and then they come to a place, it says score on top, where we can actually interact with the client, where the coach or the nutritionist or whomever had that initial first contact with the client can hop into that platform and say, oh, here's what's going on with you, and then have a conversation with them. We're also ultimately looking to bring that client back. So here is, as you can see, my one of my platforms, okay, my personal platform actually. And this is the place where all of this information is going to land. All of the gadgets that you wear, all of the apps that you use for tracking, and we're tracking on our iPhone stress, nutrition, fitness, smoking cessation, anything that you now want to track for your client can be tracked and Wi-Fi'd up and downloaded into something that looks like this, okay, similar to this. So on the left-hand side, you can see that all their fitness information can be put in either by a gadget or they can manually enter it. Home monitoring would be their weight scales, their blood pressure cuffs. Lab monitoring would be information from their doctor, their blood glucose levels, or your telomere test. Okay, so several of you have asked what's a practical application for this telomere research that we talked about the other day. So here it is. Okay, your client comes to your spa, they spit in a tube.
We find out where how they're healthily aging or not. We prescribe programs that they can use. We send them home with a program so that they stay connected to us. And they monitor their information, send it up to the cloud, down to a place where they can share it with you. So then you, your coach, phone call, through email, can continue to interact with that client after they leave the spa. Hopefully encouraging them to come back and retest their telomeres to see that the program is working. So all that data is here and it can be scored according to people your age. So here's our goal. You take your look, okay, your feel, your product, your brand. You combine it with what you do or your products, and you use tools that can be white labeled, and you develop products that you can not only sell, but you keep that connection with your client and you encourage them to come back. So this is another view of that same type of website. So here you can see, just tying it all together, the tabs on the top. Here's the opportunity to use gaming through the leagues. So you're encouraging people to play games. On the challenges, you can get, if it's a corporate client that you're working with, you can get challenges going that offer incentives to come back to the spa. Forums, this is a place to put your content about what's going on at the spa or future spa events or products that you're releasing. And I'm going to go quickly. And you can private label it. And Jeremy, I borrowed your name just for a moment. Thank you very much. Okay, and call it whatever you want. Okay, and here I just wanted to show you this view because on the lower left-hand side, this is a very important feature. This is where you can make your spa go viral. Because in these platforms and programs, what we encourage people to do on the onset is to invite their friends, their family, people that haven't been to your spa. So this is a place for people to come on, start using this platform, and be exposed to your products, your programs, and your property. So in closing, because we're out of time, and we'd like to answer some questions really quickly, I can only encourage you, as Ted from Google did the other day, that the time is now, that all of this is happening, that if you want to develop corporate relationships and do corporate wellness, that this is a bridge to do that. This is a way to take your program into the employer and have them interact with your spa and offer spa services as incentives. And I'm very grateful to the board for being willing to look at this next level of technology. And I would like to invite Meg back, and so we can answer any questions you might have. And we can kind of talk a little bit about how these two pieces can act together, how you can use both technology and the humans in your spa to really promote your products and your programs. Thank you. And as Meg mentioned, these PowerPoints are available. Please feel free to come up to either one of us, and we can try to help you decide what would be the best programming for your spa. This is such a brief overview. There's gobs and gobs of stuff out there on technology.
And what we liked about this was that we saw there was a way that the health coaches work with the health technology. The health technology may be a little overwhelming for all of your visitors. She thinks they use it more than I do, but I know that we can train the coach to use it well and to sit down next to the computer and say, let's look at your scores together. Mm-hmm. That's really a beautiful meld right there. So questions? How to launch?
I don't really have a question as much as a comment in support of something you had said. I was a little surprised that most people haven't used the fitness software app that's available on most phones. Myself included, about, I would have to say 100% of my friends use those apps. Where you count your calories, and you enter in what you eat. The database on most of those apps are phenomenal. I mean, they have the calorie counters from restaurants of every meal you can possibly imagine, and it allows you to personalize your input. If it's not available, you can just create your own. So I would say about 100% of my friends use those, so I'm really surprised. I think it's a great loss if the spa industry is not involving themselves in something like this.
Really. Absolutely. Well. These people are paying for these products elsewhere if you're not selling them. So jump in. The profits are unbelievable, and the connectivity, in my opinion, especially to not just your program or your products, but to the humans in your spa and to the employee programs. It's
it's just an enormous opportunity to increase your revenues and your connectivity.
Good reasons right there. It's over in the corner. Joe?
Meg, I think your idea of health coaches was right on, and I'd love to see a healthcare block in all of medical school training. The fact is there is enough time because we spent too much time memorizing things like the 7 types of collagen when you only need to know 2, and this type of stuff, and we're memorizing rather than learning. And what I'd love you to do is to prototype this at one of the universities in your consortium that you mentioned, and one that also has a medical school. You could probably guess which one. Simultaneously, I'd like to have you do this talk, if you haven't already, in front of the medical students and residents and fellows sections of the American Medical Association. And also there's another student association that's a little more progressive than that one. And they're the people who brought us the 80-hour work week, which is violated all the time, but nonetheless a step in the right direction. So I think you can, what would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? And I would say, in order to get accepted by the medical community, you have to train them when they're young. Absolutely. All of healthcare, we talked about the other day, was let's get them at K through 12. Well, this is the K through 12 analogy for healthcare training. Jay, your stuff is more powerful than anybody knows. We at Intermountain Healthcare have been telling congressional staff and the White House and other folks, whoever would listen, over the last year about new ideas about health information technology is actually more empowering than what people realize. And we had a conversation yesterday. I'm wondering if you could just speak to that about integrating all of the information from the wellness center with an actual professional-grade electronic medical record.
Yeah, well, actually, these platforms are so sophisticated. Basically, what you're doing, or what your client can do, is just have one-stop shopping for their whole health picture. So, in other words, what they're integrating into these platforms is not only their stats from their doctor, from their annual physical, but also they fill out assays that inform the program of family history, and all of this is based on all of the assays that are used in the medical industry, so it all matches up. They also do emotional and psychological assays, so it flushes out depression and stress, which we know hugely, thank you, Danny, affect our health. And that data is aggregated into the site along with what you do on a daily basis. So all of your medical and your lifestyle information is there in one place, giving you a health score moment to moment. Can I finish with one little quote?
She looks like a hook to me. I don't know.
I mean, please feel free to come to Meg and I. We'd be happy to help you, but I want to just finish with this. A famous person said this, okay? Countless medical studies show that the old one-way health directives from doctor to patient dramatically fail to keep people on track. But the gamification of adhering to regimes, whether fitness, diet, stress reduction, even beauty, with engaging elements like points, levels of achievement, challenges, and rewards, may be the best weapon ever invented for keeping people in the health game. And that famous person was Susie Ellis.
Yeah.